Hi there. Here's your quick update on the latest in cybersecurity from October 14 to October 20th, 2024. Hackers are using new tricks to break into systems we thought were secure, like finding hidden doors and locked houses. But the good news, security experts are fighting back with smarter tools to keep data safe. Some big companies were hit with attacks, while others fixed their vulnerabilities just in time. It's a constant battle. For you, staying protected means keeping your devices and apps up to date. In this newsletter, we'll break down the top stories. Whether you're protecting personal data or managing security for a business, we've got tips to help you stay safe. Let's get started. First, let's take a look at the threat of the week. China calls Volt Typhoon an invention of the U.S. China's National Computer Virus Emergency Response Center, CVERC, has claimed that the threat actor tracked Volt Typhoon is an invention of U.S. intelligence agencies and their allies. It also accused the U.S. of carrying out false flag operations in an attempt to conceal its own malicious cyber attacks, and that it has established a large-scale global internet surveillance network. Second, let's check top 5 news from the week. Apple macOS flaw bypasses privacy controls in Safari browser. Microsoft has disclosed details about a now-patched security flaw in Apple's Transparency, Consent, and Control (TCC) framework in macOS that could be abused to get around a user's privacy preferences and access data. There is some evidence that the vulnerability, tracked as CVE 2024-44133, may have been exploited by ad-load adware campaigns. The issue has been addressed in macOS Sequoia 15 release last month. Legitimate red team tool abuse in real-world attacks. Threat actors are attempting to weaponize the open-source EDR silencer tool as part of efforts to interfere with endpoint detection and response (EDR) solutions and hide malicious activity. In doing so, the aim is to render EDR software ineffective and make it a lot more challenging to identify and remove malware. TrickMo can now steal Android pins. Researchers have spotted new variants of the TrickMo Android banking Trojan that incorporate features to steal a device's unlock pattern or PIN by presenting to victims a bogus web page that mimics the device's actual unlock screen. FIDO Alliance debuts new specs for passkey transfer. One of the major design limitations with passkeys, the new passwordless sign-in method becoming increasingly common, is that it's impossible to transfer them between platforms such as Android and iOS or vice versa. The FIDO Alliance has now announced that it aims to make passkeys more interoperable through new draft protocols such as the Credential Exchange Protocol, CXP, and Credential Exchange Format, CXF, that allow for secure credential exchange. Hijack Loader uses legitimate code signing certificates. Malware campaigns are now leveraging a loader family called Hijack Loader that's signed legitimate code signing certificates in a bid to evade detection. These attacks typically involve tricking users into downloading a booby-trapped binary under the guise of pirated software or movies. Last but not least, what's happening around the cyber world? Apple releases draft ballot to shorten certificate lifespan to 45 days. Apple has published a draft ballot that proposes to incrementally phase the lifespan of public SSL TLS certificates from 398 days to 45 days between now and 2027. Google previously announced a similar roadmap of its intention to reduce the maximum validity for public SSL TLS certificates from 398 days to 90 days. 87,000 plus internet-facing Fortinet devices, vulnerable to CVE 2024-23113. About 87,390 Fortinet IP addresses are still likely susceptible to a critical code execution flaw, CVE 2024-23113, CVSS score 9.8, which was recently added to the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, Known Exploited Vulnerabilities, KEV, catalog. Watchtower Labs researcher Elise Hammond described it as a super complex vulnerability that could result in remote code execution. The development comes as Google revealed that of the 138 exploited security vulnerabilities that were disclosed in 2023, 97 of them, 70%, were first weaponized as 0 days. The time to exploit, TTE, has dropped from an average of 63 days in 2018-19 to just 5 days in 2023. Researchers outline early cascade injection. Researchers have disclosed a novel yet stealthy process injection technique called early cascade injection that makes it possible to evade detection by endpoint security software. This new early cascade injection technique targets the user mode part of process creation and combines elements of the well-known early bird APC injection technique with the recently published EDR preloading technique. Outflank researcher Guido Migelenbrink said, "Unlike early bird APC injection, this new technique avoids queuing cross-process asynchronous procedure calls, APCs, while having minimal remote process interaction. ESET, Israeli partner, breached to deliver wiper malware." In a new campaign, threat actors infiltrated cybersecurity company ESET's partner in Israel, ComSecure, to send phishing emails that propagated wipers to Israeli companies disguised as antivirus software. Based on our initial investigation, a limited malicious email campaign was blocked within 10 minutes, the company said in a post on X, adding it was not compromised as a result of the incident. Google outlines two-pronged approach to tackle memory safety challenges. Google said it's migrating to memory-safe languages such as Rust, Kotlin, Go, as well as exploring interoperability with C++ through Carbon to ensure a seamless transition. In tandem, the tech giant emphasized it's focusing on risk reduction and containment of memory-unsafe code, using techniques like C++ hardening, expanding security boundaries like sandboxing and privilege reduction, and leveraging AI-assisted methods like nap time to uncover security flaws. As recently disclosed, the number of memory safety vulnerabilities reported in Android has dropped significantly from more than 220 in 2019 to a projected 36 by the end of this year. The tech giant has also detailed the ways it's using Chrome's accessibility APIs to find security bugs. We're now fuzzing that accessibility tree, that is, interacting with the different UI controls semi-randomly to see if we can make things crash, Chrome's Adrian Taylor said. Conclusion. That's the roundup for this week's cybersecurity news. Before you log off, take a minute to review your security practices. Small steps can make a huge difference. And don't forget, cybersecurity isn't just for the IT team. It's everyone's responsibility. We'll be back next week with more insights and tips to help you stay ahead of the curve. Stay vigilant, and we'll see you next Monday.